Well, plenty happening this morning and into this afternoon. Our political editor, Beth Rigby, has been following events from Downing Street. A lot of support there from Starmer loyalists after that cabinet meeting. And we were talking about what would happen this afternoon. And you said, you know, there could be a big move. And it's happened in the form of the Safeguarding Minister, Jess Phillips, someone who is Labour through and through, one of the best known figures in the party. And a big professional and personal decision for her, because her and Sir Keir Starmer are close.
Yeah. Exclusively on Sky News, we revealed that Jess Phillips has sent her letter of resignation to the Prime Minister. She said, "I want a Labour government to work and I will strive as I always have, for its success and popularity, but I'm not seeing the change I think and the country expect. I cannot continue to serve as a minister under the current leadership." She says Labour is not grasping this opportunity with the gusto it's needed. This is a big moment, SJ, because Jess Phillips is one of the better known Labour. She's one of the best known Labour MPs. She stood for leadership. She's known to be on the progressive wing of the party. She's known widely to be an ally of Wes Streeting. And she is the second minister to resign today. As we were saying, 81 MPs have now resigned. And Jess Phillips standing down will really be a shockwave through the party, because that is a big name walking away, and also walking away from the safeguarding job that she's deeply committed to. I mean, she and Keir Starmer go back a long way. As I was saying, they worked together when he was the Director of Public Prosecutions. She, a campaigner working in the whole area of violence against women and girls, which really she dedicated her life to before she became an MP, and it has become the thing that she has done in government. But she has stood down from government, so that's two ministerial resignations, and really in that letter saying what many MPs are feeling, that it's not being grasped with the gusto, she would put it, that's needed, and that the change that the country needs. And she's clearly got frustrated and decided to go and just let it out. We haven't heard yet from the Prime Minister, because she would have called the Prime Minister to tell him, I assume. And we're now waiting to see what the Prime Minister's response will be. There will be an exchange of letters, but Jess Phillips there.
That's seizing the opportunity, because there is a sense of, when, not if, there is a change in leadership. And the clock is ticking. Labour have been in power for 18 months, decimated at the local elections, hugely damaging. And, the projection going into a general election that Sky News did, if that kind of result was translated on the national stage, Reform would be the biggest party. So the clock is ticking on this Labour government. They've only got a finite amount of time until a general election to prove to the public that they are the ones to govern. And I think you get a sense of that in what Jess Phillips is saying.
Yeah, I think the point about the points Jess are making in a letter is kind of what a lot of people would be saying privately, which is, you can't workshop this stuff. You have to show emotion, you have to show feeling, you have to sort of lead with some passion. I mean, that is kind of the way she does her politics and her business. And clearly she's got to the point where she really does want to try and force a change in leadership. Otherwise, she wouldn't be standing down from government. And I imagine, and I don't know, but I would imagine that Jess Phillips would be a supporter of Wes Streeting.
What do you think other MPs will make of this move? Because we talked about earlier on, everybody will be looking at everyone else. Who's making the first move? Who are people gravitating towards? What does this signal, do you think?
I think partly what this will show is that this is a big name leaving government. It's the first really big name to leave government and say call time on Keir Starmer, and it comes after that really big push in cabinet. And I think the question for me now is, Jess Phillips has gone over and said, I'm not continuing to serve. What are those cabinet ministers going to do that in good conscience agree with Jess Phillips and think that the Prime Minister needs to stand down? Are they going to sit on their hands, or are we going to see perhaps a cabinet resignation or at least some more ministerial resignations. But I think it will, on the one hand, shock the party because, as I said, she's such a prominent figure. But I think also it will create more tensions and divisions because there will be other people there saying, well, Jess Phillips is a big supporter of Wes Streeting. Wes Streeting is orchestrating this destabilisation of the Prime Minister. I imagine that will be some of the criticism. But I think Jess Phillips was very honest in that letter there, in how she felt. She talked about grasping the rare opportunity with the gusto that's needed. She said decency is vital, calm curiosity is also needed. I mean, I think she's referencing what she sees as the characteristics of the Prime Minister there, but so too a fight and drive. Have a row, she says, push back, make arguments, bring people along. Standing up and being counted can't always be workshopped. Politics is as much about feelings as policies, especially at the moment. And she goes on to say that I will strive as always for success and popularity for this government, but I'm not seeing the change I think the country expect. I cannot continue. So, I mean, that's her verdict. That's her verdict there on the Prime Minister, that he's decent, that he has calm curiosity, but actually the fight, the passion, you know, the feeling that she wants to see to try and win over voters. And as I said just a moment ago, she and Wes Streeting, they were staring down the lens of defeat at the last general election. Both of them, I think, came within a few hundred votes of holding on to their seats. And she clearly has decided she cannot serve. And I guess the question now is whether other people will come forward. And as I said, I'm waiting to see the Prime Minister's response.